Alright, I'm supposed to tell you about the plot of the Red Ghost versus the Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four 13. Well, you have here your basic space race story. Reed Richards invents a new rocket fuel to get them all way up in moon there somewhere. And he wants to go alone. This is because Reed's like that hero type, protecting his three buddies and all that, but they obviously don't need that, but he does it anyway because that's him. So anyway, the thing forces him to take all four of them, which is a good thing, because unknown to Reed, Ivan Kragoff, a Russian villain, has gathered 3 apes that he's trained, and they've gotten in this, like, transparent plane, or a transparent rocket ship, and it has no shielding, so that the cosmic rays will hit it, and they'll juice them up more than the FF got, because you remember the FF had shielding. And that's exactly what happens. They get hit by these rays, they really absorb them. Kragoff becomes the Red Ghost, which is basically an analogy for the Red Scare. You know, he's a communist, he appears anywhere, he could be anybody, you know. Well, he's not the chameleon, he can't be anybody, but he can appear anywhere. Transparent, kind of a ghost. It's clever. He has 3 apes, one super strong, one is a shape changer, and one has magnetic powers. Well, they both crash on the moon. Well, they land on the moon. They don't necessarily crash. They land on the moon. Kragoff is looking for the Fantastic Four, and he finds the Thing. The Thing starts to fight with him. But then, soon, Ben is fighting all 4 of them. Well, the Watcher, a strange alien being, puts a stop to it. Now, this is the Watcher's first appearance in comics, by the way. And, wait a minute. Jack, is that right? Is that the Watcher's first appearance in comics?
Yeah, Bruno, it is.
Thanks. Jack knows these things. I don't read these things. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. The Watcher stops the fight. His whole thing is that, man is savage, and he doesn't want man's savagery infecting him on the moon. So the Watcher tells him that he's gonna move, and that he's gonna send home whoever wins this fight, and I guess dispose of the other ones. So the Fantastic Four and the Red Ghost and his super apes are sent to like a dead city in the middle of the moon, and they do battle. Well, the Fantastic Four win the fight, and Kragoff is zapped with his own zapper. He took this ray gun he wanted to zap them with, and they took it away from him and zapped him. And the Watcher then sends the FF home, and the apes go ape and go after Kragoff. Sue got kidnapped during this time and got herself free by mothering the apes and treating them with kindness, even though the Red Ghost never did. And so the apes turned on him because Sue was kind to them. That'll teach you to be bad to dumb animals. So I think that's the end of the story, right? Can I go home? Am I done here?
Thanks. See you later, Bruno.
Yeah, I gotta clean up. I'll talk to you later.
Shades presents Favorite Panel Theater.
The scene. The Red Ghost spots the Thing flying at him. The Thing flying, you say? Yes, he's sitting on a metal cylinder with Johnny providing the engine. And the yellow box at the top says, at the same time, unaware of what has transpired behind him. There he is, Torch. He just came out of that wall.
They see me. My plan is still working perfectly. Now to quickly return back to the wall. The torch will undoubtedly burn through the stone to get him. And as soon as he appears, this all-powerful disintegrator ray that I was fortunate enough to discover here will dispose of him and the thing forever.
And unaware of the deadly danger awaiting them behind the cavern wall, the Human Torch uses his fantastic flame to melt his way to the Red Ghost. We see the scene where there's a nice big hole in the wall that Johnny is melting, but Sue comes running up saying,
Johnny, stop! Don't do it! It's a trap!
Huh?
Sue, you're safe!
Let me turn invisible and walk through there first. I thought so. A deadly ray gun of some sort, aimed right at this spot.
Woo! It's not affecting you, sis. I guess it won't react to anything which is below the visible spectrum of sight. Well, whatever it is, I'll just make sure it never menaces anyone again.
And Johnny throws a fireball, melting the Red Ghost's disintegrator ray to slag.
It was the world's strangest accident. While testing a new rocket ship, our heroes were bombarded by mysterious cosmic rays from outer space.
I'll bring my Super Ape friends on, starting with Shades.
Hello.
And, of course, the boss, Ryan.
Hello.
What did you think of this story, Ryan?
It was, as Shades would say, it's silly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Aside from that, I did enjoy it. It was just, it felt more like a filler episode than it did anything. Yeah, it was funny. It was good.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. It was silly, but I enjoyed it. I didn't think I would, but I did. But it was good. I liked especially the Watcher. That was just something they kind of threw in there. So the Watcher shows up, dun, dun, dun. He was awesome. And what's even cooler is that the Red Ghost falls into the Watcher's domain, and he gets jerked around. In X-Men 137, The Awesome Fate of the Phoenix, the legendary episode by John Byrne and, of course, Chris Claremont, almost the exact thing happens to Wolverine. I appreciate how the artist, John Byrne, was faithful to this first appearance of the Watcher. You had the big face of the Watcher talking to the Red Ghost. They did that to Wolverine. You had Wolverine in this wacky area. You have him going back in time. I mean, you might say it was kind of a ripoff, but it wasn't because it was original. It stuck to it.
I love the bonding that you get with the Fantastic Four here. Reed being Reed, he invents a rocket fuel. He invents a way for Johnny to flame on during the airlessness of space. The big thing that's his attitude, which is he wants to protect them, even though they're the team. And Thing has to force him into a test tube to get him to agree to let them go. Sue being motherly towards the apes, and that ends up biting the Red Ghost in the butt. Give us the rundown on what you thought of this story.
I thought it was odd how the Thing was able to put Reed in that little capsule. That doesn't make much sense because he can get smaller, I guess, but I thought he was just going to stay to his original size rather than get smaller. I don't know, it's odd.
Well, it's because of the pressure. Thing is supposed to be pressuring him in there, and Reed's letting him do it. That's what's happening.
Reed can't shrink down, but go on.
He can, yeah, he stays to his original size or wider, but I don't think he can shrink down.
Come on, who is he, Ant-Man now?
Yeah, I guess that was interesting. I thought it was funny how Kragoff calls the orangutan the brainest one, but if I'm not wrong, orangutans are like the smartest of all the primates and stuff.
He's also the smartest of the super apes because he repairs stuff. Kragoff is jealous of the ape.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to remember, Kragoff is an engineer himself. As a psychotic, petty man, of course, that's the one that he picks to call brainless because he's saying, I'm superior to you. It's just because of his attitude. He is a petty, petty man.
And he should be arrested for starving these creatures, much less, who knows what other horrible things he was doing to them. But I do remember he was starving them, wasn't he?
He was. And this is one of the reasons
food.
Sue treated them with kindness, and that's why they turn on him.
Yes. Yes.
Sue is definitely doing her motherly best in this issue, which I really liked. What did you think of the way the Human Torch was handled in this issue, since that's your favorite character there, Ryan?
Actually, I thought it was really cool. I marked it here. They gave him a like an atmosphere suit to make him be able to flame on while in space. That's super cool. If we want to talk about Kirby tech, that is Kirby tech right there.
That is total Kirby tech. I love the artwork on that. I love the artwork in the battle scenes, all the battle scenes. But when he's looking into what appears to be Wonder Woman's invisible jet, but it's actually Kragoff's ship, is one of the best scenes.
Yeah, especially when they all notice him too, and then they start freaking out and like, what is he doing in this?
The people that notice him are the apes,
Yeah.
not Kragoff. Kragoff is so arrogant, he's constantly belittling them because of who he is. Okay, so what you were saying about the torch, the way the torch was handled in this, Ryan?
Yeah, I enjoyed the way he was handled. They gave him a lot of dialogue here, along with Thing as usual. I feel like again those two are like usually the main focuses and stories.
There were several Ben moments in this. The forcing Reed Richards into letting them go, and then when he first sees the Watcher, he does the same thing Reed did. He's going to take on all 4 apes to protect his friends instead of calling them. So what did you guys think of the Watcher himself?
Well, I want to jump in really quick. In the in most of the What If episodes, the Watcher was kind of a big muscular alien. When John Byrne, referring back to X-Men 137, he had this big head and everything. But now I see, once again, John Byrne went back to the original image of the Watcher with the big head and the sort of, dwarfish thing. So I appreciate that, but go on.
The Watcher here definitely intentionally interferes. Didn't have the Watcher idea yet of a non-interference. Ryan, this is your first time with the character. Shades has already said he liked him. I like the character. What did you think of the Watcher?
I thought he was an odd character, and that's the first thing I mentioned or like I've noticed. I thought he was very odd. It doesn't his design is a little weird. I guess maybe he's supposed to be like a higher being, so I guess that makes sense. I feel indifferent about him, I guess.
What do you think first, Shades? Yay or nay on Red Ghost and his super apes?
I kind of like the Red Ghost only because of that wonderful Fantastic Four one where Doctor Doom gives Reed Richards his power back, but the Red Ghost also gets his powers back. And that was done so well. That was my first introduction to the Red Ghost, and that's what sticks with me. This is, however, is silly. The apes are silly. The whole thing is silly. So I'm saying yay to the, not so much this one, but the other one. Also, come on, he's the Red Ghost because he's a Russian. He's a
transparent Russian.
But he's the Red Menace,
Right,
Russians
that's exactly, that's
right.
The whole point of the story is the Red Menace.
Yes, the Red Menace.
And
so
he
that's why
is
he's
the Red
Ghost.
because he's
which is a cool name. But
transparent for Ghost.
Yeah.
He becomes ghost-like.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the Super Apes and the Red Ghost, Ryan?
Yeah, I like the Super Apes. I thought they were just like something different, and if anyone's gonna get powers, and if any animal's gonna get powers, it's gonna be apes and monkeys and stuff like that, because they're the closest in DNA to human. So it makes sense to me. Kragoff as a villain was interesting. As most villains, they reach for more power than they probably should, and then that's their downfall. And with him, that's what happens. He goes for more than he needed to, and that led to be his failure and his downfall here.
I get a big yay on these, of course. I love the Super Apes. The battle between the Fantastic Four and the Super Apes was a lot of fun. But I really love the fact that Kragoff is so arrogant. Apes don't speak English, but he has to put them down every chance he gets to show how big he is. He's not just putting down the Fantastic Four, which that makes sense. That's the enemy. These are your soldiers. But he's calling them brainless and every other horrible thing. My faithful slaves, I mean, this.
he's starving them.
He is the epitome of a villain, and definitely what people were thinking about for the Red Menace. Mm-hmm. So he's got a big yay from me. So I think that's about it. So all right, guys, till the next issue, be fantastic.
The new Fantastic Four.